am the Val of Tay and Val.
And I'm the Tay of the Tay and Val, right? So if you cannot remember which is Tay and which is Val, it's just Tay and Val and T, V, yeah?
You got it? Super cool. I remember my very first Creative Mornings. Back then, we were completely new in town, as in like #FOTV in this case, fresh off the bikes in town. How many of us here are new or new-ish to Seattle, and you came here to make friends?
Welcome.
Welcome. I will be your friend. Back then, it was still called the EMP Museum, now Mopop, and we were there for Hollis's talk, Hollis One Where. How many of you were at that very same talk?
Whoa.
Woo, hi, we were in the same room. Well, so it's been 4 years, and I cannot tell you how awesome it is to be standing here, because Creative Mornings is sort of like our little home away from home, is our community. And right now, being here, being able to share a story with you is like walking into the living room, just a little, very big living room, and just chilling, hanging out with friends. So please be casual, so I will be less nervous.
So when we received the call from Dave about like 2 weeks ago, that hey, we want you on Creative Mornings to talk about chaos. And our first question is like, what was the inspiration of the link between us and chaos? Like, what was the inspiration? And he said, I know you guys run a meditation practice and you teach people how to be calm and centered in the midst of chaos. Yeah?
And so I want to know how many of you here came for that purpose? Like to perhaps maybe learn how to be calm and centered in the midst of chaos? Okay, good. I'm glad we came prepared. So let's start this morning, proper, by doing this. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. Now all of you start to put your things down, you start to straighten up. So here's the deal with meditating with us, okay? You don't have to sit a certain way. You don't even have to close your eyes if you don't want to. We just ask that if you choose to keep your eyes open, to not stare directly at me, because it gets really weird really fast.
So you can softly put your gaze on the shoulder blades of the person in front of you if you don't want to close your eyes. Okay.
Okay, ready to get your calm on? Let's do this.
So just making sure that you are comfortable, I want you to go ahead and just shuffle your feet on the ground. Just getting a sense of what the ground feels like underneath the soles of your shoes. What's the texture? What's the temperature? Okay? And I want you to go ahead and just rub your hands together in the counts of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you feel the warmth in between your palms, go ahead and put that on your chest. Great. When you take a nice, long, deep breath in, breathing in through your palms into your chest, and then a long, long sigh out. And just letting your hands drop on your lap, however it is most comfortable for you. Good. We're going to take one nice, long, deep inhale, drawing the breath on the top of your head. Bring it all the way down your eyes, your nose, your throat, into your belly. Nice long exhale through your heart center.
Now with this breath, I want you to take note, notice what is going on in your head right now. What are some of the thoughts or images or reminders that are like pinging in your headspace as we speak?
Now simply observe these thoughts. Nothing for you to do. No need to push them away. Just allowing them to be here.
And so with this awareness of what's going on inside your head, set an intention to center your mind, your heart, and your breath as you inhale and exhale.
Awesome. Next, nice long deep breath in. This time I want you to pull the breath all the way from the core center of the earth. Pull it all the way up the soles of your feet, up your legs, up your thighs, up your hips. Deep, deep breath into your belly, and then nice long exhale through your heart center. Now with this breath, become aware of anywhere you might be holding on to tension in your body. Yeah, you want to wiggle your toes, shake out your shoulders, rotate your neck. You might even just want to yawn with your mouth wide open. Nobody's watching. Just releasing those tension behind your jaws that we often carry. And behind your closed eyelids, you might want to, just roll your eyeballs a little bit, just releasing those tension behind the eyes. Perfect. If you want to wiggle your ears, go ahead.
And so in this moment, I want all of you here to just feel your spine naturally straightening. Feel your breath grounding you into this present moment, into this space, here and now.
Now one last nice long deep breath in, okay? You're going to breathe, inhale deep into your belly. Nice, long, deep, 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 deep. Keep going. Deep, 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 deep breath out. You cannot take another ounce of air in and then just sigh off. Okay, just notice how your shoulders naturally drop away from your ears. Just notice how you sink a little deeper into your chair. Just allowing the chair to support you.
And just notice how just by sighing, you're flushing away all that hustle and your bustle and all the misdirections from ways, right, on your morning commute here. And in this space of clarity, take a moment and set an intention for yourself. What are you here for? What would you like to clarify, calibrate, or perhaps even create this morning?
Now once you've got your intention, just give us a smile so that we know that you got it. Okay, we're going to gently come back. Let's go ahead and rub our hands together one more time, counting back from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes and give us a big smile. Perfect. Now that we are all calmed and centered, are we? Yes? There's no more sound. Okay, let's talk about chaos. Okay? That was the deal, right? You get you all calm and centered, let's talk about chaos. So when we think about the word chaos, when you think about the word chaos, what are 3 words that immediately comes to mind? 3 feelings, 3 words. Anybody? Stress. Perfect. Anxiety.
Something from the back? What?
Too many ideas. Explosion.
Well, before we started meditation, like David said, it is Seattle's first, and I think up to now still only, modern meditation movement where we teach this ancient, almost a little bit mystical tool of meditation, and we make it accessible, approachable, and more importantly, applicable to everyday modern life people. So that's why we teach people how to get centered, right, and stay calm in the middle of something like life, which can sometimes be very chaotic. Well, before all of this, we were leading a life that some people might actually term chaotic. You see, every day we didn't know where we were going to be, whom we were going to meet, and where we were going to stay that night.
Yeah, so back in 2010, we sold everything that we had, quit our careers, left our family, left our hometown in Singapore where we grew up in, and got 2 bicycles and went cycling around the world. Now the idea was really we wanted to use our filmmaking skills to go document people's dreams. We want to meet as many people as possible to ask them one question. So what is your dream? And we'll document it, and it started this movement of, one dream inspired, one dream shared, millions inspired. So those are some of the dreams that we, took on the journey.
But this isn't the story that we're going to talk about today. You guys are really special to us. Creative Mornings like family to us. So I feel like we can share with you a little known story that happened just before this. Like what really happened that caused us to pack up and go biking around the world. And it was the story of exactly how we met this one man who forever transformed our lives. No, he wasn't Tony Robbins, but he transformed our lives, and it was through a series of completely random moments, utter chaos. And I remember in that time, it was like everything just happened in slow-mo. The images in front of me was just a blur, and every single sound, even like a whisper, felt deafening to me as I slowly and very carefully set myself down on a little black bench inside the tourism office in Taiwan.
So this is back in 2008. Okay, we were at a point in our careers where we just debuted a new television series on national TV. It had good reviews, it was raving, everybody was very happy about it. We got a second deal from the television station, say, hey, why don't we commission you to do a second season? And on the outside, everybody saw the two of us as two young, enterprising, up and coming, successful, you fill in the blanks, filmmakers who are going to make it. Our future was, really, really bright.
As you can tell.
And I permanently looked like this back then.
Here's the thing though, this so-called good award-winning work that we were doing completely exhausted us in our mind, our bodies, our hearts, our souls, our spirits, you name it. We were left broken externally, internally, and also in the pockets. We were completely broke. And it was in that moment, it's sort of like, you have nothing left. So what do? You take next month's rent and you book yourself a backpacking, soul-searching trip to Taiwan over here, right?
So picture this with us, okay? We had imagined that we would lie on this pristine beach, enjoying the sunshine, maybe drinking some mojitos or whatever it is, and then we will figure our life out. We figure out, am I going to give up my career? Am I going to embark on something new? What am I going to do? The skies will tell me, the ocean will tell me. So cleansing.
And so you can imagine my excitement as we boarded the airplane that day, ready for our trip. And I was looking forward to what sort of answers might I get. And what was more important was that it was that one time, just that one time, out of my entire lifetime of, doing the good thing, the right thing, the responsible thing, the good girl thing, that I allowed myself to be just a little bit rebellious. I allowed myself to risk a little bit, and I took this month's rent, remember? And I used all of it.
Including mine.
And so I had every intention to make this trip count.
So then we were on the plane, we flew from Singapore to Taiwan, 5 hours flight. We landed in the international airport, all ready to go, and then there was the ding, typhoon alert. So we were told that, our B&B called us, he said, girls, there's a typhoon alert along all the east coast of Taiwan. Don't come. We've cancelled your reservations, don't come. So we landed in the airport, we were like, don't come.
Yeah, this right there, state of utter confusion, disorder, was exactly how I felt.
And being very adventurous, very rebellious, as that was how we felt at that point, right? But in this state of confusion and disorder, we decided that there's nowhere else to go. Let's walk into the least adventurous and least rebellious place in the airport. Let's go to the tourism office and let's figure this out. Yeah.
And so back to that little bench where I had very carefully set myself on, I was just still trying to really grasp what was happening, right? Like what happened to this, right? And I just waited. And finally, it was my turn. And the lady said, okay, next. So how many of us here are familiar with the 5 stages of grief? Ish, yeah?
Wow.
When you deal with chaos, it's very much the same. Stage 1, denial. As if I did not hear a single one of the ongoing PA announcements of the typhoon alerts. I went up to her and I said, I think our hotel made a mistake, our B&B made a mistake. They canceled our reservations. Could you help us book a stay, maybe in a hotel or B&B, a homestay, a hostel, something, somewhere, but it has to be on the East Coast, you know, where the beaches are? And she looked at me like you didn't hear the announcement. It was in like 5 different languages.
She's like, you know, last year we just had a typhoon and there was a very serious flood that happened. So everybody is, you know, on hyper alert. Nobody is going to let you go to their B&B right now. So I'm really sorry. How about I book you something, you know, like in the city, like right here in the city. You can still enjoy yourself.
So stage 2, anger. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, are you sure? Like, you just sat there. You didn't even Google it. You didn't even check, right? Like, you just sat there, and I just said that, and I got all my reservations canceled. Like, surely there must be something you can do. Like make something happen.
So while she was doing this and Val was doing this, I was like, okay, it's fine. Let's move on to stage 3, right? Instead of going to anger, let's bargain. Let's start bargaining. How about maybe you can check, you know, somewhere on the whole island of Taiwan, there might be a beach somewhere that we can go to. Just make sure that it is a beach that we can go to. There's water around us, right? And so she thought for a while. She's like, and noticing that Val was just about to cry, this irrational thing that she has to go to the beach. She's like, okay, I tell you what. On the west coast of Taiwan, there's this water amusement park.
Yep. Water amusement park. I mean, not the same. Right? Like, really not the same. And she like pulled out these brochures. She's like, look, there's water. And I'm like, well, this was supposed to be a soul-searching trip, not soul-crushing. I was officially in stage 4, depression.
So, feeling desperate is better than feeling depressed. So I move on into stage 5, acceptance. I was like, okay. Maybe this is it. This is what is meant to be. Life has pointed us in this direction that we will slide down the roller coaster with all these maybe all these people that will scream our hearts out and we will find the answer, you know, we will do our soul searching that way. I said, fine, okay. Why don't you call them and you book us 1 room in the resort? Yeah? So she picked up the phone, relieved that she found a solution. She called the resort and said, so we sat there and we listened. She was like, And then she put on the phone. We were like, my heart sank. And she's like, you know, I don't know what to say. I am so sorry. You know, the resort closed for 1 weekend for maintenance. And it happens to be, you know, this very weekend that they're closed for maintenance. Like, I am so sorry. I am so sorry.
But here's the thing though, we found out that out of 365 days in a year, the resort only closes 1 weekend for maintenance. And it had to be that weekend.
And I literally saw, you know, 1 tear drop. I was like, what are we gonna do?
I know how this sounds. Like, why would you cry over this? But I'm also very sure at least one other person here in this audience has felt this before. When you just wanted something so badly, it completely takes over you. You start to think and do really irrational things, like cry over something like that. And it's almost like you're possessed. Yes, I see heads nodding. Because
awesome.
I'm honest, we're here. I wasn't the only one, right?
So she saw that Val is crying. She became also desperate. So she said, okay. Let me share this with you, but I have to tell you this is not official. This is unofficial, okay? You cannot tell this to anybody. It is not recommended, but I went to the West Coast last week with my friends and I went to this B&B that was right beside the beach. Now, it is not a sandy beach that you imagine. It is a rocky beach. You cannot walk down to the beach, but you can enjoy the most amazing sunsets. Then she put out a photo. I was like, yeah, why not?
So she said, well, this is an off-the-record recommendation, I did not do this for you, but if you like, I can call the owner. I still have his number in my at that time handphone, right? in my handphone, and I can call him. And I was like, okay, please do. And I just like wiped my tears and I snorted away and I just held my breath and I just stared at her. I was like, reading every single word she was saying on the phone, and guess what? He had an opening. He was just about to lock up and leave because nobody booked, right? And we called him time and he said, you know what, I will wait for the girls, have them come and they can stay with me.
So I was all ready to bring my backpack and I asked the lady, like, tell us how to get there. Give us the instructions. And she wrote down this set of really interesting instructions, right? She said, well, first, you take the local train, right? The train that stops at every single station. And you will take the train for 2 hours and 37 minutes, okay? And then you will count the stops. It's 17 stops. Once you got to the 17th stop, get off the train, and then where everybody is going, don't follow them. You will exit by the back door of the train station, and you will walk down these steel steps.
Yep.
We're like, okay, I'm still listening.
So down the steel steps, cross the bridge, you will find yourself at the beginning of a dirt path. And he says, walk on the dirt path, and each time you need to make a turn left. Count and make sure that you have made 3 left turns, and then you will come face to face with a husky dog. Yeah. And here's the kicker. This very nice lady from this very official looking tourism board, who up to that point in time had looked and acted perfectly sane, for those of you that is not crazy, right? She said this.
Follow the dog.
Can't make this shit up.
And I tell you what, live to tell the tale. We actually followed the instructions and met the husky dog, and we followed the dog, right? The dog brought us to this train B&B where we met this man whom we lovingly today call Luo Papa, right? He was the one, his story, his legacy, his passion literally changed our lives. Right? He was the one who inspired us to sell everything that we had, embark on this journey around the world. Right in that moment when we met him, our lives completely changed.
Once upon a time, there were 2 perfectly extraordinary girls who lived perfectly extraordinary lives. Tay and Val. Every day, they did what they were supposed to do, made the right decisions and took the right path, the path that everyone else took. As per their family's wishes, and like all their friends, they studied hard, graduated from top universities, carved rewarding careers, won international awards, and became very successful, capable women. This could have been the perfectly extraordinary lives of Tay and Val. One day, they met an elderly gentleman in Taiwan, known to them as Luo Papa. Luo Papa was an extraordinary man. He took the path less taken in order to fulfill his dreams. His life story prompted Tay and Val to ask themselves, what's my dream? When he shared his one last secret dream he very much wanted to fulfill, Tay and Val made a promise to Luo Papa, one that changed their lives forever. Because Luo Papa living his dreams had inspired them to live their dreams, Tay and Val decided to pay it forward by inspiring millions of other people. They were going to travel around the world on their bicycles and collect stories of people's dreams, share these stories, and create a movement of dreams inspiring dreams around the world. To many people, it was a crazy idea, an inconceivable task, an impossible journey. Tay and Val lived by Luo Papa's example and went ahead against all odds. They closed down the company, sold their belongings, and that is only the beginning. Tay and Val had to find funding, overcome failures, rise above some very personal fears. Telling their families about trading their perfectly good lives for an uncertain future. Until finally, on March 30th, 2010, these two perfectly extraordinary girls said goodbye to their friends and families and began on what was first deemed impossible, but definitely epic journey.
What is your dream?
My dream is to fly.
Dream is to be a singer.
To never stop learning. Life.
I want to be a Power Ranger Red.
How many of you believe that dreams can come true?
Thank you.
All of that would have never happened if the whole chaotic day didn't happen. You see, on hindsight, of course, all the dots connect. Of course, that day there was going to be a typhoon alert, right? Of course, the amusement park was going to pick that weekend to shut down, right? And of course, freaking follow the dog, right? On hindsight, looking back, you can always connect the dots. And you know, before chaos was the chaos as we know it today, way back in ancient Greece, thinkers and philosophers described chaos as sort of this void, this space before life happened. So I think it's befitting that today at Creative Mornings in the 21st century, we return chaos back to its roots and think of chaos as this space where life autocorrects. You know, when you're in chaos, life sort of looks like that, right? All these squiggly lines there. But if you notice, every turn, every detour, every roundabout is designed to do exactly that, bringing you from here, wherever you are, to there, wherever you want to be. So when we take perspective, each moment of chaos really is life on autocorrect mode.
And this is what I realized, right? On that journey, we forgot our intentions. Our intention was not to just find a beach and go there. Our intention was to do some soul searching, right? But we got so fixated on the thing that we want so much that we just want to go to the beach. Forgot our intentions. But life has got our back. Life reminded us what the true reason was to take that trip, right? And it brought us right to the doorstep of this man, this encounter, this experience that gave us all the answers that we needed. And to finish the quote, Steve Jobs also said, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Here's the thing, you have to trust something. Why not trust chaos? Let it do its job. So when it gets overwhelming,
Take 3 deep breaths.
and when you're in doubt,
Follow the dog.
and all this chaos that you are experiencing now,
Remember that that is simply life autocorrecting. And so,
keep calm and chaos on. Thank you.
let's just dive right into Q&A.
Okay.
Shall we?
Sure.
And if you would mind repeating the questions, that'd be great. Thanks. Who's got a question? Right up front.
Thank you.
What was your first step after the bike ride and everything to actually starting your business and your...
What was our first step after we finished the bike ride to start our business?
Yeah.
Well, the truth is the bike ride on the 4th year took us to Seattle, right? We were invited to come here and do a TEDx talk, 2 actually. And we realized we were at another point of chaos in our life whereby, okay, we've come to a point whereby we either need to expand this, go deeper with this, or we need to stop doing this, right? And at that point in time, we were new in Seattle. There was no home. We didn't have status as immigrants. And it was again at a decision point whereby, what are we going to do? And that TEDx talk, when we saw the reaction from the audience, when we saw the response, when we asked them what their dreams are, we were talking to 100 first-generation college students. When their eyes lit up, we were like, yeah, we're back on. We can do this here in the United States. Let's stay. And to speak the honest truth, this path of entrepreneurship, when we were aliens, on our visa, we were not allowed to work. So the only choice at that point in time, autocorrect, to give you that only one choice was entrepreneurship. We took it. We started a business.
Yeah. We couldn't be hired, so we hired ourselves. Yes, back there.
You know a lot of different cities around the world. How do you feel, what's your feeling on how Seattle's special or different? What's unique about this place?
We've been to a lot of cities around the world. What is special about Seattle? Yes? Well, there's Creative Mornings. I mean, there's Creative Mornings everywhere around the world, but this one is special. It was here we met Hollis, and then we later on went to do a couple of sharing sessions together. It was here where we first met. I don't know if there are any Ford Culture folks here, but we got our first art grant from Ford Culture. It was through a connection at Creative Mornings. And for this and many, many, many other reasons, Seattle's special.
Yeah, everybody talk about the Seattle freeze. For us, there was synergy. There was synergy in everything that we were doing. We were meeting the right people. We were going to the right field. Everybody was helping us, like really.
Yeah.
What was it? Could you talk more about the man who ran the B&B and what about his life or your experience there inspired you to dream?
What about the man we met at the B&B? What about Lobaba's life inspired us to do this? You see, by the time we got there at the train station, Act 2 of the story, I was like, I was completely just broken and just tired. And he set us down in the restaurant part of his train carriage, and he started giving us these steaming hot soups and bento. And that time, the sun was just setting right outside the window where we were sitting at. And I finally understood what the lady meant by they have the most beautiful sunsets. And we were the only guests there. And it was in the middle of nowhere. We had to follow some really interesting instructions to get there. You couldn't even Google map it unless you had like the coordinates of it. Right? So I had to ask him, I said, like, why did you open this place in the middle of nowhere?
He took a look at us as if we just asked the most ridiculous question. And then he gave us 3 words in Mandarin. Like, he said, 这是我的梦想. 3 words, it's my dream. And then he turned and he walked away. And finally, we allowed the tears to come. We were like bawling, sitting down. We were like, what? It's like, why has nobody ever asked me what my dream is, other than being a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor? Like there were other things, but nobody was interested in finding out. Even I wasn't. I didn't even ask myself the question, and that was the turning point. We saw in this 65-year-old man's eyes the passion, the fire, the life. He had more than the both of us combined. It's like, why? I want some of what he has.
And that question, what's my dream, was a more aligned question that we were supposed to be asking ourselves as opposed to, what should I do with my career next? Right? Yeah. Yes.
When you were making the decision to sell everything and leave everything behind and like not worry what your mom said, I imagine there was a ton of fear, and I just wondered if you could talk about how you chose the risk over the fear or through the fear.
Ooh, I like this one. How the question was, when we were making a decision to take that leap of faith and jump, knowing, and this is true, when you jump, there ain't gonna be a net there. Yeah. How did we choose that risk over the fear? Right.
So I'm going to answer this. Fear is my strength department. I'm really good in it. So right after we came back from the trip, there was 1,000 questions going through my mind. What about my 12-year career that I built in Singapore? People know me now. I'm going to go and do this thing, come back 5 years later. Is anybody going to remember me? Right? That was question number one. What are we going to live on? We had no money. You remember we took next month's rent? We went to Taiwan, so we're in the red, right? What's going to feed us? Why am I going to tell my mom? I'm the only daughter in the family. I have two brothers. So all these questions is about my future, the uncertainty. So I went to Val every day. I asked her, we're going to do this. Tell me how. Every 5 minutes, how? Tell me how. Right? Tell me how. Tell me how, quick. I really want to do this. Please tell me how. Maybe give me a plan A, plan B, plan C. If all this fail, what is plan D? Can you promise me that I will come home to something still? People will remember me.
As you can tell, I was a smart one. So I took a coin out and I handed it to her. I say, why don't you flip a coin?
Yeah, I remember we were at Starbucks one night after a really heated fight. I really wanted to know how. Somebody give me a plan.
So I want to know this. How many of us have done this before? We flipped a coin to make a decision. Okay, now be honest. How many times did you flip that coin? Right?
So I held this coin in my hand and I was like, am I really going to flip this coin and let this fate decide my entire future? This coin, head or tails? Can I take some ownership of this decision and decide that I decided there and then, not flipping the coin, I decided, whatever skills I have, I will continue to have them. Nobody's going to take that away from me. And 10 years down the road, 20 years, 30 years, when I look back at this moment when I had given myself the opportunity to try, and if I didn't even try, I think I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. This moment, this chaos moment of opportunity and possibility might never come back. Right? Yeah.
Can I answer your question? Okay. Yes.
Talk more about your meditation practice and where that fits into what you're doing now.
Talk more about our meditation practice and how that fits into what we're doing now. I also like this question. Now, everybody, reach underneath your seat and find a little surprise for you.
We have a little gift for you. There's a sticker. Don't tear it out from the chair, but there's a card underneath.
Yeah, don't tear the manufacturer's warranty sticker out, but take the card.
It's right in front underneath the bar of the chair.
And if you're standing, go to a round table, and underneath the round table, that's where the goodies are.
Oh, we've hid it so well that you cannot find it. Did anybody find it?
Oh my gosh. Wave your card if you found it.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. It's right in front underneath the bar.
Front right or front left, depending on who put the card there. It's not in the middle, so it's the right corner at the front.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, for those of you who got it, do not pop it open yet.
Okay, hold the card, but do not pop it open right yet. We're gonna do a social experiment. Will everyone hold your card up so Jared can get a really good photo? Jared. Awesome.
Awesome. So we've done this with over 500,000 people.
Oh,
you can put your hands down. 1,000 people.
Just 500 plus people.
Oh.
Yeah.
The smart person. So the card will always have a message, right, that you need to hear right here, right now. I want you to go ahead, before you pop open the card, think about an intention or a goal or something in your future that you're contemplating on that has caused you maybe some chaos or maybe some possibility. Just think about it.
Got that? Good.
And then when you're ready, go ahead and pop open the card and read that message.
Knowing that the message inside is always exactly what you need.
And if it is, give us a big smile. Good.
Yeah. So to answer your question, this is what we do our meditation practice. We create moments whereby it feels like you're in the right place at the right time, reading the right signs. And no matter what sort of curveballs life throws at you, you can breathe. You know which dot to follow. In this case, it could be a card. And you take your next step from here to there. Did I answer your question? Okay.
Any other
Any
questions?
other questions? Okay. Yes.
What are your dreams?
You know, when I was like 4, my dream was to be a teacher. I saw my teacher as my only role model in life. I was like, oh, I want to be this woman. She affects the life of so many and mine, right? And then when I got to, I think, 20, I got my first job as a tuition teacher. I went to teach these kids math and science, and I was like, I hated the thing. It's like, what? I have to study before I come and teach you? And it's like, you're not listening to me? It's like, this is not happening. I hate the job of being a teacher. Then years later, after we got on this journey, I realized that my dream is not a job description. It is not a title that I was looking for. It was an intention. It is the energy I bring to my daily life. So my dream is to inspire, and in staying aligned with that dream, inspiring through storytelling, inspiring through teaching meditation, inspiring through asking people what their dream is. Like everything that I do today, every moment is on point with the dream, because it is an energy that I bring to every single moment of our lives. Yeah?
And so happens my dream is the same. So you and my business partner, figure out what his or her dream is and make sure it's the same. All right.